This is the PTZ-78, probably now the best tank destroyer in the entire game. This tank feels like it has it all. Good alpha damage, good penetration, good mobility, and good armor. Not to mention that it does have rocket boosters which don't necessarily help it with the top forward speed, but do help it massively in the traverse speed. But do all of these stats actually correlate into game when you go and play it? In this video we're going to run through all the stats, all the details, and then you can decide whether or not you want to go and grind it. We start out as always with the base stats of the tank. Now this is going to show all red here because this is a fully upgraded vehicle in my garage, but this is now put into comparison. You have 760 alpha damage with 295 standard penetration being AP. The premium round being heat whacks that all the way up to 395 pen. And the HE on this vehicle is 90 pen with 1150 alpha damage. Beautiful. You get a 16.3 second reload time and that gives you nearly 2800 DPM. 0.35 accuracy, and a 2.3 second aim time. This is one of the best guns in the entire game. This will literally go through near enough everything you meet with the premium round, and even the standard round is exceptional. There really shouldn't be any issues regarding penetration when playing this vehicle. And since you come from the previous tier with the WZ-113GFT, then you'll be right at home with this. You have 2,200 hit points, which is more than enough to go and deal with most tanks that you're going to meet. This is tier 10 heavy tank hit points nearly, at tier 11 for a tank destroyer. You got 40 km/h forwards, 16 in reverse, and a 15.71 power to weight. More than fast enough as well. And remember, we still have the rocket boosters as well. Camo rating is really good actually at 16% while stationary nearly, and you have 390 meters view range. In fact, when you do go ahead and just put camo on the vehicle, you have nearly 20% stationary. The gorilla should take some notes. Now, as you see regarding when it comes to the upgrades to this vehicle, you do get 10 extra alpha damage, you get 5 extra pen on the standard round, and the premium round also is 5 extra pen, meaning it is 400 heat pen. This is second best only to the Jagdpanzer E100 regarding the heat. Yes, 360 AP exists with the Hurry 3, which is technically just as good as this, but still 400 heat pen is exceptional. You do also get an extra degree of gun depression, as well as your gun restraints are also slightly increased as well. You have 13 degrees either side rather than just 12. Your aim time is also down, as well as your accuracy, and DPM is slightly up because of the alpha increase. You also get 100 extra hit points, but everything else on the vehicle is exactly the same. However, I will say that the upgrades, when you do get them, are pretty massive on this tank. When I played it on my press account in comparison to my main account, the difference is massive. I had all the upgrades on the press account, I then went and played it on my main account, and it did feel quite sluggish in return. But that's kind of to be expected when you are completely stock. The ability on this tank is a rocket booster. You have clusters on either side which will then activate, and it doesn't really help you going forwards, but when you're trying to turn, it will be a massive help. Also, you don't need to worry about deactivating them because when you do stop or you try and reverse, it just deactivates automatically. The timer will still go down though, meaning that if you then want to go forwards again and you still have time remaining, you will have the booster. So you can't deactivate them once they've started, but you technically can by just stopping. It's not like a PTZ-75 where you try and go backwards and you just can't. The main objective with these boosters is not to be straight line performance, but for turning. You can easily start to bounce shots as well by just wiggling backwards and forwards with the boosters activated. It's super effective. Which then brings me on to the armor. As you'll see here, it's yellow. This is not good. But then you need to remember that this is with 300 pen. If we went and met something like a breaker, this is what they would see with the standard rounds. And with the premium rounds, then yes, it's a little bit more manageable. But even then, the upper superstructure is very strong and very thick. And if you were on a ridgeline to use your full 7 degrees of gun depression, which admittedly is not many ridgelines, at least not one that you can use very effectively, but you would have very strong armor all over. But as you will see here, it can get overmatched under the side skirts. And this is the main place you want to shoot one of these things. If you see it wiggling and rocking backwards and forwards, shoot it underneath here, you will pen it every single time. It's only 25mm thick, which means that everything greater than a 75mm gun goes and pens it, which at tier 11 and even tier 9 is basically everything. Honestly, apart from that, armor-wise, there's nothing really to worry about. You can go ahead and side scrape because it's 120mm thick on the sides, and even up here is 80 to 105mm right here. So it can side scrape, it can go hold down, but you just need to watch out for the side skirts. They're the main problems. And on completely flat ground, then yes, it can get shot on the superstructure, which you need to watch out for, and also on the upper plate. Lower plate is always kind of going to get penned. However, it is 250 effective, which means that if you do meet lower tier tanks, you can actually bounce some stuff, especially if you're wiggling, going backwards or right and left like this, and just being annoying. The cupola is visible on this tank on the right-hand side, which you do need to watch out for, and it's only 150 millimeters thick. The sides of this tank are HEable. This is what it looks like against itself with a 90 pen gun, and you will be able to go through this every single time, including the rear as well. Very, very easy, especially the rear of the hull. Equipment is very, very simple. Hardening, turbo, rammer. The reason why is that this is purely the best and only equipment that you should really use. Hardening, because you get the track health and the extra HP. Turbo, just to make it even faster. And then a rammer, well, I mean, I think you know why. Those three things, where you have survivability, mobility, and then firepower, are the most important thing on this vehicle, and what this tank excels at. Amplifying all of these is just even better. For the crew skills, it's very, very simple. On the commander, brothers in arms, repairs, and concealment, and then recon, emergency, and coordination. The first four are pretty basic and pretty standard for what you would expect. We use concealment still, even though this is an assault tank destroyer, because the camo is very, very good. This means that if you are moving around the map, there is less chance of you actually being detected. This is more so for kind of endgame scenarios, which you can get into very often in this tank, but a camo is just there as a backup. And then we obviously have emergency for when we get shot, reload and everything else is reduced, and we also have coordination just to help out with that aim speed. You could change coordination or even emergency for mentor or practicality if you so choose. For the bonus perks on the commander, situation awareness, firefighting, then side-by-side or signal interception. I'd probably choose side-by-side. If I'm next to someone who is also a triangle, then I get more bonus. For the gunner, brothers in arms, repairs, concealment, deadeye, armor, designated target. Don't really feel like I want snapshot on this, because I would love to have deadeye and also designated target in the same bit. The reason being is that designated target is super, super useful for identifying if someone is ammo-racked or has their fuel tanks knocked out. And if you use deadeye, the chances of you actually hitting that again is even higher. And then armor, because, well, I mean, less RNG. When it comes to the driver, same three again: off-road driving, engineer, and controlled impact. Now, you could go ahead and use clutch braking here instead of controlled impact if you so choose, or even remove engineer and go for clutch braking. However, I do quite like these three as a combo, and yes, clutch braking would be nice, but I'd value these three more. Always choose off-road driving. These other two, kind of down to personal preference. Although I do really, really like controlled impact now, especially when more and more people seem to be trying to ram stuff. And finally, for the loader, the same top three: intuition, safe stowage, and ammo tuning. Ammo tuning to give us even more penetration. Intuition is a no-brainer, and so is safe stowage. Realistically, these three should be on every single tank that you play. And now if we look at the complete package with all the upgrades, all the equipment, and the crew skills: 780 alpha damage, 304 standard penetration. If we go into heat, I think that's around about 410 maybe a bit less than that, maybe 405. 13.35 second reload time, 3,500 DPM, 0.31 accuracy, 2 second aim time. We have 2,560 hit points. We go at 46 miles forwards, 20 in reverse, and a 17.52 power to weight, 34.8% camo while stationary, and 22.5% on the move, which is insane for an assault TD, and 439 meters view range. More than enough for what you're going to be doing, which is mainly brawling. I mean, I'm not going rapid. It doesn't give it a massive speed boost. Does it not do much? Does it not do anything like forwards? It just does it for the sides. Oh, intuition is not great. That's alright. 400 HE sorts that out. Once you turn them on, you can't turn them off. What type of black magic is this? Okay, could I maybe aim at where I'm trying to shoot? This gun is great. So I should be able to stop and reverse. It's literally just... So it deactivates itself. I see. Where's the FV gone? FV friend. We might get shot here a lot. Does the booster turn off in the water? That is a great question. We'll test if we go through this game. I'm losing too much health now though. Hang on. Potential. What is going on? Whoa. The adrenaline. I can feel it all pumping. This is stupid. This is the first game in this tank. Why is my team so passive as well? Look at the Tiger Mouse. What's happened in this game to make him be there? Oh. Oh no, another one. I don't have heat either. Oh, 12.6. And that's the first game I've ever played in this thing. Yep. Apply. So the final thoughts on the PTZ-78. Do I think that it is a must-have? Go out and get it. Yes, absolutely. This thing is absolutely amazing. I think that it is the best tank destroyer in the game currently. Now, we are obviously only having 4 in the game at the moment, so there's very limited size selection that we can choose from, but it is miles better than the Hirschkäfer. I think I'd rather play it than a Breaker, especially the mobility on the PTZ. STRV is a very different tank entirely, but I'd still rather play the PTZ. And just overall as a complete package, this tank is insane. So yeah, go and get one. I'll see you all later.